Hey!
We did it!
Hi there.
We worked. Sorry.
I saw that it was Susie who fixed it.
Yeah. Yeah, I did. Yeah, it was definitely Susie. Yeah, Caesar hadn't put the meetings in. So normally I just go down the meeting list, click it, hello.
Right.
And then we start. But no.
It's all right. We hacked it.
Yeah, fixed now.
Yeah, well, in the email he sends round, normally there's like clickable links, and that didn't work. That told me it wasn't a valid link, so I put in the number and the password, and that seemed to work.
Yeah, that's how it worked for me as well. That's what I did.
So we did that, and then you know how when you were waiting for Ross, it had a thing underneath it that said if you have a meeting host, log in to start the meeting. So we did it that way because it wasn't working the normal way.
That's cool.
Did it?
We're here. It's good.
Maybe.
I've just got back from training. Oh.
Don't brag.
Sorry. I'm sore. Gotta do something. What are you gonna do? Do you have any requests, guys? Doesn't matter if not, I'll win something. Maybe neck attacks. I think Nathan's been doing a lot of that this week.
Sounds good.
Indeed.
Do that then.
Cool.
I'm going to use a 6-pack abs class.
I haven't. But it's important in side control, not just to think, I want to hold the guy down and apply continuous pressure. You want to ease up on pressure when necessary to allow your opponent to move and to give you angles to attack. So what you don't want is just pressure, 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 holding down here forever. You want to float at some points, allowing your opponent to turn into you or anything to try and look for attacks off of that. So backing away and giving your opponent an underhook, for instance. So this is something they look for to escape. What you don't want to do, you can crush the underhook and flatten them, but it's really hard to do that. So you want to back away when this happens. You want them chasing this underhook. As they're chasing it, your hand will swim through and whizzer their arm. So usually you can see could potentially get up, but normally I can force her back down here. So you're going to punch this hand through all the way to the other side of the head here. So just shimmy a bit into the camera. So this is a way you can stimulate a shot at a Darson side control. Back up, give them the room. Don't resist the underhook. Continue to back away so they can't get around the back of you. What they're going to be trying to do here is throw you over the top of them and come around behind your hips. So you're going to ride that by moving away. So if she tries doing it, you see how far behind, how much further she's got to travel. So that little shimmy back, so try coming up again. And she's got a long way to go, which then means I can start looking to get onto the head. Yeah. So we can punch deep. You see how her underhook has collapsed? It's exactly what I want. If she stayed on her side, and we get it here, and the arm is still behind me, you tend to want to clear this first. So I take a kick back, allowing that arm to drop to the floor. And now it's a lot easier for me to attack the neck here. So if we just shimmy around so you can see it. So her arm is currently...
Well, so I'm afraid you've gone a bit stop motion at my end.
Currently a bit stop-starting. How is it, Steve?
Yeah, you guys were completely frozen. I thought it was just me, so I kept quiet.
Hold on, I'll check we're on the right Wi-Fi.
good Wi-Fi and bad Wi-Fi.
It was very invisible jiu-jitsu for a while. Like, they don't seem to be moving at all, but Ross says he's applying a choke.
We're on bad Wi-Fi, but good Wi-Fi is completely down.
Is it?
It looks like Sab's fucking around with it downstairs, I guess. We have no alternate solutions, guys.
Very good.
It does seem to be doing a bit better now, actually. We can see you moving.
Yeah, it does seem a lot better.
Good Wi-Fi should be good enough. The alternate is it takes up less bandwidth if we're not receiving video. So if it gets shitty again, we'll ask you guys to turn your cameras off.
Let's try and get 110. Right. So we allow them to underhook us. We back away, which makes it less effective for our opponent to throw us over the top of them. If they go this far around, what the back away also gives us is guillotines with our top arm. So here, I pick this leg up. So it beats her hip. So if she gets this far up onto her elbow, you pick this leg up, the lower one. You wrap up the neck, and you fall onto your side, looking to attack the neck like this. This also leads to anacondas as well as guillotines. You just stay on your side when you finish with this one. So here, we back away, they're not coming up, we bury the hand. If the arm is behind us, we kick this leg backwards, getting that arm to the floor. So now finishing this, hand comes all the way through. And look at the angle of my body. My chest is facing the direction the head is facing. But here's the thing. This angle is garbage for the application of the choke. So once we lock up here, you want to stay very relaxed on the choke. Don't squeeze. Bring the left elbow in. And now what you want to do to finish the darts is get your chest facing the other way. Like this. And now you can apply a gentle squeeze and get the tack there. The easiest way probably to finish it is to step this leg over into a mount, and this is fucking horrific. Didn't it? So yeah, what you get a lot people making errors there is squeezing upon the shape stage and trying to get that arm through. So you don't want to squeeze until you've locked up and changed the shape. So you're buckling the head into the choke. Quite often they'll be trying to run away here and get their back to the floor. What I like doing is, see on my chin, it hooks the shoulder, try and get you back to the floor. So I'm able to maintain that. This is up, we're back on the floor. You lose it. So I'm going to use this hook on the other side of her shoulder, keep her onto us, keep her on her side, dig it in, and it's hard to get it back.
Does that work for everyone in the sheep you've got in?
Okay, if you've got, what do they call it? You've got an overhand for your feet. Overbite. It's not going to work. We need a big change. Thank you for like that. Like that. That's exact. That's the. So here, angle, grab, hand fairly high up the back here. Pull the elbow to you, looking at her feet, changing the angle. So you see my top arm is pulling her head into the choke, and my lower elbow, I want to travel up to the ceiling. Now you see Susie's putting her back on the floor, which is naturally what you should be doing to try and take the pressure off. Here. What I'll do here is move backwards, trying to get that angle back. And this hook on my chin makes it hard for her now to get her back to the floor. So pull her onto you, walk in, change the angle, step the leg over to a mount. You can use your head as a base. Now here, it's done.
Ross, if you miss the chin,
Yeah.
and Susie does manage to get her back to the floor, do you just maintain the grip, roll with them, and then try and re-establish after like they've done a roll?
So if they go up here and put their back onto the floor, I'd allow this arm to slip by me.
Okay.
Now this other arm will wrap over their head here.
Okay.
I'd switch my hips, because the one thing she can do to screw up this choke, north-south, is to look at me. So if she gets her chin facing this way, it's never going to...
Yeah.
Chin stays up, and I get my chest to it. Now it's too late for it to turn in. Try turning it in. There. Now the depth of my hand is massive on this.
Yeah.
I'm shooting my hand across to this side, and my elbow is almost under the back of her neck. Big error people make is that the elbow being kind of over the other side of her shoulder. That's really no good. That's not going to happen, but you want to kind of like be reaching that way and walking your rib cage that way. So hand travels that way, rib cage this way. Now here, what we're going to do is walk around, our head coming down to here. Because of the depth of the arm, you could probably get the finish just by a gentle squeeze. There. A really annoying thing that some people will do is get a hand up under your chin and start pushing up like that. It's really fucking annoying. So you've got to keep your head low to make it hard for them not to get their hands under your chin. If you get stuck here, Dinu does this to me all the time. Hands up under the chin, Suze, and push my head up. Like that.
It's such a dick move.
It's a dick move, but I'm trying to show it to you. Now I find the best grip to take to finish this is a butterfly grip. So, right hand here would be facing me. The choking hand should always be facing down. You make that X and connect the hands. This is my favorite grip for head and arms as well. This butterfly grip. I also use it for my violin arm bars and violin positions for controlling the shoulder. This is the grip set I use. Application should be this elbow.
What is it about those positions that means this grip is better for them than other positions?
There are other grips. I just find this is the most powerful.
Well, not always.
So what I find disrupts my application of pressure through these chokes is my wrists. So this grip reinforces the wrists. So it's just forearm connected to forearm. So you don't have that hinge. There's not a lot of pressure. There's so much more pressure going through your wrists when you're doing this. Whereas this is just uber powerful.
I'm surprised you're using the same grip for head and arm choke though.
Yeah, absolutely.
The other ones I get, but I think I've been doing all right with that grip, getting like to get my head close to their arm, like pushing in. But I've never done it with that.
This is head and arm, and particularly against good fighters, right? So what Susie will be doing, if I do isolate her arm across her face here for a head and arm, is she's going to be pushing this elbow into me, like dropping it into me like this, and turning into me at the same time. But at the same time, you don't push this elbow into my head as hard as you can. Now turning like that. So it's a bit of a battle here. And against strong fighters, against big men, we've got it, and women.
That's recovery.
We've got to have a very powerful grip here. If I'm just linking my hands together, because my wrists are weak, if she pushes through that, it's no good. Weak.
Okay.
Whereas here, this is a far stronger grip. Try going there. So my head and arms I've been applying like this lately. And you want to create that shape. the non-choking elbow facing down, and you're looking not to drop this shoulder. Forget that. You're looking to pull this across your body, this elbow. And you do that not by pulling this elbow that way, you do it by pulling this elbow down. So you see how this elbow, if it makes it to my hip, this elbow is cutting across her neck. So that's the application there.
Yeah.
Very strong with your head, and do not go high on your opponent. The positioning of your head is very important here. I am choking her next to my head. So if my head's up here, I'm pulling her essentially underneath my head. My head isn't the right position to apply the choke. I want to be listening to her tricep. I want my elbow dragging down. So now as I apply, my head is in.
That head position's made a massive difference to me.
Sorry?
That head position's made a massive difference to me.
Yeah.
Because I was going like, as soon as I felt like I got a good grip, I was like flattening out quite a lot, and then feeling like I was kind of winging a little bit with my arm too flat. But for the north-south and for this, like getting that head position and keeping my arm up a bit more, it's like, yeah, it's changed it a lot.
This is like putting your head in the right place at the right time is massive for these. Yeah. I'm super aggressive with my head when I'm passing and when I'm trying to come up off the ground and playing my guard as well. So yeah, really get used to using this. I think I'm losing more hair at the front because I'm doing it so much. Really crispy here. Anyway, so that grip, elbow down, dragging this elbow across you. Don't try dropping this elbow, this shoulder down. What this will do, if I try dropping my shoulder, you see how my elbow flicks out? It's impossible to drop this shoulder without sticking this elbow further out. So sometimes dropping that shoulder actually takes pressure off.
Yeah.
What am I doing with the application? Shoulder stays high. Yeah. Sometimes I actually just put this shoulder on the floor, so this shoulder will rise. So, and it's not wrong for other instructors to teach you shoulder down. It's just not how I understand the application of the choke. So, for me, my shoulder stays high, and I know a lot of people that like dropping their shoulder down to the ground. It makes it very tight, isn't it? So you see, my right shoulder stays high, left shoulder goes down. Susie's going to try it. It's not fair that I do it on her constantly. That's it. But not on your wrists, on your I guess it'll go. So now here, this elbow goes really low. And now this shoulder goes. Don't squeeze. Pull this across your face. That's it. Left elbow goes down. Yay. Susie found it. Do it again. Yeah.
We can tell it works when your instruction cuts off.
That's fucking sick.
Found it.
Yeah. Well done. Common thing, another neat little trick with head and arms. People are turning into you a little bit and like really driving that elbow into your head is a trick. So if I get here and Susie screws up my angle, ideally I want them. No, don't do that. Never do that. Turn into me. Just like this. So here, what I can do to get my angle back, and she's going to be pushing this elbow into my head to open space between her neck and her arm. My near side foot hooks this leg and turns her back away. And now this makes it horrific. So if you get somebody trying to turn into you like that, near side leg hooks under the leg, turns them back away, and you'll get the pressure back on. But you shouldn't, the application here should just be you sinking into it. You shouldn't be burning your arms out here. Just sink in, hold, trust the choke that will come. Okay. But we got to that. So we're giving our opponent space to underhook us inside control. If they stay on their side, we can bury this and attack Darcy's here. If they manage, so you see how I'm hooking with my chin on the back of the shoulder, leaning back first to keep this angle. Yeah. Then I have to change by facing my opponent's feet. I can step over to a full mount or collect the leg in half guard. If I lose this and Susie manages to get her back to the floor, here, the non-choking arm will swing underneath the head, wrapping up the neck. I switch my hips and throw my rib cage into the face, because if Susie turns into me, this isn't on anymore. If she turns her head to face me, I ease up pressure and bait her again to turn into me for dances. So if she manages to turn her head, that's what I'll be trying to do and looking to attack while she's on her side. If I manage to shut the head position down, walk your ribs that way, walk backwards. So now my rib cage is forcing the neck into the choke. A few shimmy forward a bit there. Stop. Okay. Make your linkage and finish with your head low. Rough timing right there, I'm sorry. Who asked for neck attacks? Is it me?
Yeah.
You
Sorry.
did.
Literally no one.
Thank you, Mike.
Don't try and blame us for it.
I thought it was Tom, but Tom did it. Right, get up. So you've got, oh, back down, sorry. Reload. 3 neck attacks there so far. In doing this, another thing can happen is she gets up to her knees. So Susie was doing this earlier, like this. So we end up kind of with a half whizzer, but she's not controlling my back leg. So this is not a good position for her to be in, because I can step this leg up, wrap up the neck, and immediately drop in to guillotines. Alternate option, step this leg up, shoot this leg through, over the other shoulder, into triangle finishes. So she's got to be very careful there. She's got to get around my hips. So when Susie does this, so get up, what she's going to be trying to do is to collect my leg with this leg. Now she's safe. Now she's in a dog fight. Back again. So if she gets up onto her knees, we make sure we back away, make it and step this leg up immediately. So she's unable to collect it in the dog fight. You can throw in triangles here, or move to your front headlock. So you can wrap up the guillotine and sit down immediately into it by throwing now this knee underneath your opponent. I can't do it nicely, so I'm going to base my hand on the floor. But imagine this is over the neck. So here, it comes through, and now we're falling into our guillotines here. What you really want to do with the guillotine, with the arm in, is create this shape. So you see how I'm making my hand, my forearms aren't level. Your hands should be higher than both of your elbows with the arm in. So you should be trying to make that little shape there. So this is buckling her head. I'm forcing her head down with my shoulder. So big error people make here is keep their hands low. So keeping my hands low, there's no pressure coming on here. Whereas if I just make this shape with my hands coming higher than my elbow, now as I fall, pressure comes on. I am not squeezing there. Make sure you create that shape. Get your hands up to your chin.
You have a black eye.
Do I? Sorry. I must have given it. So we give our opponent space. We're getting frustrated here. In like submission only matches, people just kind of are like, I don't want to get tapped. Give them room. So back away. Good. Be ready. Step this leg up. Now we're immediately jumping onto our front headlock. Grab the choking hand with your other hand. Bring the hands, no, not you. Bring your hands up higher than your elbow here. And if you can, pick the head up first. Pick the head up, hips come under, and you'll rip the head off as you drop. I let go, sorry. Oh. So yeah, Gary Tonin does that where he really picks the head up super high, and so you get this big buckle, big buckle on the head before you actually try to apply. So you're just going to do it to me because I'm feeling bad. So I'm in side control. Susie eases up on pressure. I come up. I want to collect this leg. Put the knee down. But she backs away. So I'm unable to get that leg. She whizzes my arm and links the guillotine here. So this hand, there. So this hand grabs. Now make that perfect. Step this up, pick my head up. No, sit underneath me, but not backwards. Okay. Yeah. So then yank up and hips under. Make the W of your hands like this. Yank up. Try keeping your hand directly under the neck. Maybe a little bit around, just there. You don't want to be punching your hand too deep with this. It's not the forearm doing the application. Keep your hands under the throat, maybe just a little bit around to the side, but you don't want to have the hand totally past the neck for this. Application was great there. Can't stress enough, if you're allowing somebody to turn into you like this, get your hips away. If you allow them to turn into you, keeping your hips close, they'll collect that leg and you'll be in a dogfight. Now it's a lot harder there to get your leg out past their hip to attack guillotines. And they're that much closer as well, jumping over to the wrong side you to apply it. So, with this, we can connect it to our anaconda. So,
I was just about to ask that actually. I find it quite difficult sometimes getting that arm shoveled across without it feeling like I'm like muscling it, you know?
Oh yeah. So we've got the neck. The arm is behind us. So we've sat down into the guillotine. You can of course get anacondas from the front headlock as well, which I'll show you in a minute. But if we're sitting down here and you feel like the guillotine isn't coming on, or what they can do to take pressure off of the guillotine is to lie onto this side. So you're like, shit, lie down. Okay, right, so she's lying down. Guillotine ain't gonna work here. This hand's still on my hip. So what we do? Left elbow pinches. And I walk my hip away. So that left elbow pinches, forcing the arm down. So now here, I punch this hand through. So you see, there's no big disconnection of this. I'm not like trying to manipulate this arm in position. If this elbow's open and wide, so see that really flares this, I can't anaconda here. She's keeping this open. So you see this heavy top elbow, really good. Can't lock it up here. So I've got to pinch this elbow and walk my hips away at the same time. So keep this elbow open, pinch, hips come away until I'm able to get this arm across my body. So here, I've narrowed the arm, so now I can link up my anaconda. From here, I want this elbow all underneath her chin. So I don't like having this here. I'm trying to pull my elbow under the chin. Just there. And now we apply. At the same time, you could be walking in, but I find this here. Likewise, we don't want them putting their back on the floor, so don't forget the importance of your head and this hand, keeping them on their side for the application. So, Susie's going to do it. So, she's on my neck in a head and arm guillotine. So this one, and just sit down first. So that's it. So this is an arm out guillotine, not a head and arm. There. So she falls onto the side. She's doing this hand, actually. She's created the W of her hand, and she falls onto her side. There's the application. Maybe I fall before this. So now, no matter how hard she tries, guillotine ain't gonna happen. Elbow pinches, walks the hips, now slides this arm, and hand comes up high. This elbow comes down, and apply. So right. Happy? Good. Yeah. So much in neck attacks, guys, is releasing the previous submission. You know, you gotta go through a DAS, a guillotine, a north-south to get an anaconda. And if any one of those you squeeze too long, your opponent will escape. You have to identify when it's gone and be ready to move into the next one in the chain. This is super hard to do with submissions. You know, you think squeeze that a little bit tighter, or you just go that, you try that little bit harder with that submission, you're going to get it. That's going to ruin the whole thing. You've got to let go of them and move freely into the next one. Yeah. Sensei.
Where your opponent's turtled in front of you and you have chest there, the back of their head, the back of their neck, and you're kind of on your sort of tippy toes, knees, keeping pressure down on them, do you ever try and get the anaconda from that position, or do you always go into the arm in guillotine?
I'm enjoying it a lot more from there because I'm kind of standing a little bit more, my training. So trying to collapse that arm that's behind you in front of them.
Yeah.
Really well. So if you get to these, please. So Susie's arm is behind me. So I could, if this is bothering me and it's in the way, I go for my guillotine. Alternatively, I can get rid of it by sucking this left elbow, see, in, like this.
Okay.
Same time, I give space for that arm to fall into. So this is behind me, elbow gets sucked in, and left hip goes away. Same again. Elbow in. So see, if I do the left hip, without the elbow, nothing happens. Do the left elbow, without the hip, nothing happens. Left elbow, left hip. It's in front of me. So once this arm is in front, this hand will come through, off of the neck, and grab the tricep here. And I start locking up my anacondas here. So, with me. So now, Susie's Left elbow and now left hip steps away. So like, so this, that was right. So like that here, you see? That's perfect. Do it again. The first step he did was bigger. And do it at the same time. Let me narrow this. Okay. Now slide. Now here, you roll under your opponent. I finish. Good. So yeah, that elbow narrowing, and you're off of the guillotine as well. It's a little bit of a battle to get that arm into the right position. That's how I find the best way to move to that is. So you've got your guillotine, they screw up the angle or in a front headlock, elbow drops, suck in, buckle in the arm, and we take our hip away.
Yeah.
So it's stick onto, and it pops down in front. Off of that, this elbow stays pinch, and we shoot it up to our bicep like this. We can't unlock, pinch, slide.
I think that's what I've been doing sometimes. I've been kind of letting go and using my hand to like shovel that arm in and then trying to lock up from there. Which...
Yeah, no, there's too much space in
yeah.
that. So this has really improved my anacondas. This detail is so yeah. So guillotine, elbow pinches. So that's doing the collapsing of the arm.
Yeah.
And now off of this elbow pinched, then you switch through. So there.
It's already there rather than having to disconnect too much. Okay.
Yeah. And it's tempting just to let go and try grabbing a hand and stuffing it in.
Yeah.
But again, if you fail at the anaconda, which I do a lot, allow the guy to get to his knees, shoot for a guillotine again, look for a Peruvian necktie. To have an effective front headlock, you've got to have a good 5 or 6 chokes there.
Yeah.
Balance off each other. And you. Right, guys. It's a little bit of a breakdown of front headlocks for you. Please let me know and post if you hit anything when we get back training. Susie's good at neck attacks.
Can I remember the Wonder Woman?
Oh, you call the butterfly grip the Wonder Woman.
Or the keep your hands up and the other person. It's the Wonder Woman.
Oh, the W, yeah. Guys, thank you for joining me.
Thank you, Ross. Thank you, Susie.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you both.
We've all got to thank Susan. She's had me hanging off her neck.
Do I get like a cake or something when we finally done with Zoom Jitsu?
I think so.
Thank you for being there.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think if everyone makes a cake and then...
a cake for everyone?
Yeah, and then we can have a little bit of a competition.
That's definitely what we all need, is lots of eating more cake.
Yeah.
Post lockdown.
Oh, mate, I've been calling the caterpillars. My God.
Fine.
Going through them.
They are pretty good.
Yeah. Anyway, so next session, I expect a breakdown of this of the cakes that I'll be receiving, or Susie will be receiving. Tom, I'm expecting big things from you.
I got to stop cooking though. It's just terrible. I need to just get my shit together before we go back to class.
What did you cook the other day? I saw it. It looked really good.
Been cooking way too much bread. Cooked some cakes. Been cooking a lot.
Lemon drizzle.
Susie doesn't like lemon drizzle.
Oh,
lemon drizzle. You don't like lemon, or you don't like...
I love lemon drizzle.
That's fine. You can eat my lemon drizzle, but like lemon on baked goods is a crime, in my opinion.
Really? Oh,
yeah.
That's sad. Maybe we need to make something to try and change your opinion.
Oh no.
We did that before.
So
we've got this box of like ideas of things to do. And one is to try a food that you dislike, but give it like a fair crack.
Yeah.
Susie doesn't like fish and chips, so we went to the best fish and
What?
chips in London.
It was banging.
It was fucking awesome. What was it called? The Bonnie Gull.
It was so good.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Bonnie Gull's great.
Oh, mate. They give it on one of our social distance classes. We should just fucking go there. And we.
Sorry, how are we gonna explain how we're having a jiu-jitsu class in the Funny Girl?
Well, I just think going to the pub would be better. I don't know.
It's a good jiu-jitsu class.
We could get. But they give you the beer that they batter the fish in.
Mm.
Nice.
And the fish like died that morning. You know, it's fresh.
Check this place out.
Oh,
It's really good.
couldn't recommend it enough. And we went there and to have fish and chips, and they didn't have it on the menu, did they?
Yeah.
Because their fryer had broken that week,
No.
and they still had, like the menu about the fish and chips. But they'd fixed it that day, but hadn't had time to change the menu.
But also, you could taste the fish, and it was good fish. My complaint with normal fish and chips is that you literally can't tell it from onion rings because it's just all butter.
Yeah,
That's my
true,
normal
to be
complaint.
Yeah, but this one.
I'm like, just maybe onion rings. I have literally no idea what I'm eating.
Right, guys. Have a good evening.
Thanks, guys.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
See ya.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.